Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed Makes here for Grafix, and today we're going to talk about Dura-Lar two-sided matte film. This stuff is absolutely amazing. We're going to do a few different techniques and then make an art journal page with all those fun techniques. Let's jump in. Let's talk a little bit about what this amazing product is all about. First of all, the pad you get has a ton of them in there. I mean, like a ton in there. So there's so much to play with. And one sheet goes a long way. It's really easy to tear out of here. Just edit there. This is the cool part about it. It's like a little bit opaque, but it's a little bit see-through. It's a little bit of both worlds, which is kind of fun. So you can do a lot of stuff with this, and we're going to go over a bunch of different techniques. But first, before we get into all those techniques, let's talk about some pretty basic stuff. And it's all written on the cover, so it makes it easy. So I'm just going to read it from the cover. So it's archival. It's made from polyester film, so that's kind of cool. You can use it for drawing, drafting, tracing, all kinds of cool stuff. It accepts ink, paint, pencils, markers, just there's all kinds of stuff, of which let's jump in and do the first thing. And also you can cut it with scissors, which is the first thing we're going to do. All right, now these are my crappy scissors, and we're just going to cut. All right, let's jump to the other camera. But we're going to make a bunch of different projects. So I'm just going to cut these into smaller squares. And then we're also going to play with them and die cut them later. So let's start with a little Chroma paint. I have the Josania Premium Pearlescent Acrylic, and I also have their washable glitter paint. Let's start with the acrylic. I have this one in, what color is this? A blue-green. It's teal. All right. This is my fast way of doing it. I just open it up, especially if I only need a tiny, tiny bit, and I just dab my brush in there. You're going to see why there's no need to make this any kind of crazy anything. We're just making some fun colors here. And I want to leave brush strokes, like I want to have texture in this. So I'm leaving some cool design in here. Now, I gotta let this dry before we do the next layer, so just give it a hot minute and let it dry. So now that this is dried, we're gonna go in with our Chroma glitter paint. So again, I just kind of pop the top off, and I'm gonna grab just a little bit. It's a nice thin, it goes on beautifully. I'm just gonna grab a tiny, tiny bit of this. And then now we're just gonna go lightly over, just to give it some cool texture. There's already a sheen and a shine. I just want to add even more. And I want those thick layers. I kind of want to pounce it. Give it some cool blobs. I don't want to put a thin coat on. I want to create some cool glitteriness. Go a little extra off the sides. Really play in there. Now you can really see the shimmery shine of the pearlescent paint. It goes on beautifully onto the surface of this Grafix film, and it's awesome. So we're gonna let this fully dry. Next up, we have two alcohol markers. These are Olo Markers. Again, pink and teal. And we're gonna do two different colors. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna leave it half and half. And there are two different nib sizes if you notice. So we're gonna do both nibs just for fun. It's a little bit of some color change. I think I'm gonna go in with a little bit more on this one. Get a little darker there. I like that darkness. And a little crossover, just a little bit of some crossover. Why not? Let's play with that. Get it to kind of blend a tiny bit. Look at that neat effect. It's just kind of shimmering and shining. It's letting the blending. I love that bleed mark on there. That's gonna look so super cool. For next one, we have a couple of markers. These are Derwent Academy markers. They're just your pretty basic markers. We're gonna do a couple things. We're just gonna go in and add some fun textures. There's one color, and then just for craziness. And if you've noticed, I've picked a theme. I keep on picking like teal and fuchsia, or like a pink and a green. I think we're gonna keep going with that theme. Let's have some fun with that. And so that's the next one done. Look how easy the colors go on the surface. It is really magical. So next up, we have two colors of Crafters Workshop Stencil Butter. We're gonna start with the fuchsia first. So again, I'm just going to take a little bit of this, just a tiny bit, and we're just gonna add this to the background. So we're just gonna paint this on, just like it would be paint. Did you know that you could do that with stencil butter? You could treat it like paint. So we're just going to coat on this just as if it was regular paint, and then we're gonna let it dry. And it goes on super smooth. It's just, the texture of this medium, of this paper, of the surface, is fantastic. It just lends the paint to want to glide across, easily glides on top. And before we do our second layer, we do need to let this dry. This is now dry. We've got our turquoise stencil butter. We're gonna pop this out. We're gonna grab just a little bit. We don't need much, just a little tiny bit. And then we're gonna place this on here, and we're gonna get some cool stencil layers here, really get in here. Now we can see the color underneath and the color on top. And then the magic, the big reveal. That's cool. I love that. Look at that. That looks so cool on the surface, and it just goes on there beautifully. So we're gonna do colored pencils. Here I have a couple of Crayola colored pencils. These are a little bit of a higher quality. We'll start with our pinky one first, and we're just gonna go back and forth with the lines. Just back and forth. And then I can go the other way too. Get some nice cross colors. And then I'm gonna take the teal one, and we're gonna do a different design. We're gonna do circles on top of that, and just circle, 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 and just keep on going. It's giving a little bit of some color contrast, and it's blending so beautifully on this surface. Oh my gosh, this matte medium is great for these pencils. It kind of gives a little bit of a smudgy, flowy feel, and then we're gonna leave it like that. And there it is, super cool. Next we have two of the new Sharpie creative markers. These are paint markers. They're tons of fun. And we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do one layer up here, nice big swashes. And then we're gonna come in with the other one. Notice these are different nibs. They're two different types of pens, and we're gonna go across. I love the layers on here. It's giving me a very 90s vibe, which I'm digging. And lastly, we're gonna do our two colors of alcohol inks. So again, I've gone in with our teal and our pinks. First, we're gonna just do a nice big drop, a couple of drops, and look how it spreads. Wonderful way of spreading across that paper. And the surface is just lending itself to do this. It's just so much fun. And now we're gonna come in with the other color and just let it do its magic. One more right there. Whoops, a little far, it's okay. Easy to clean up. Let's just give it some time to like sit and do its thing. We wanna not rush this. So this one is just let it bloom, let it kind of play. So I have a bunch of different die cuts I pulled out, and I just pulled some circles and some rectangles, and some of them have some extra cool texture on them. So we're gonna start die cutting out. I'm gonna pick up a random piece, and I cut these specifically so they would be able to fit on these plates, and we're gonna cut out sections. So we're gonna start off with this one, and then just die cut it. I'm gonna do this for each and every one, and look how easy that die cut. That was super easy. And there's our first shape. All right, we're doing one final one. This is number 8, and we're gonna do it with a pencil. So this is just a Tombow mono pencil. Whatever pencil you have is fine. And we're just going to cover this entire thing. And I know I'm going with a brand new color, and that is totally fine, because we're also gonna do a different shape. This is gonna be our contrasting item. But I wanted to show you how easy pencil went on here and how wonderful you can shade. I'm just doing it nice and dark. We got some darker tones. I'm really gonna get heavy on some areas, but then some have some nice light shading happening here. I feel like I've put a little too much on here, so I'm gonna come in with my little mono eraser, and we're gonna erase some sections. Just kind of get rid of, give it some more contrast of color. There we go. I want to get some shaded, so it comes right off, but now I want to come in and I want to do later shading here. Still want to have some color, but I'm going to later shade it. There it is. Not going heavy, so you can easily erase on this as well. So you can get some really cool shading action. And our last cut is with a little heart. So there's our little heart. All right, I'm pulling out my tried and true journal. So now it's just all about assembling. How do I want to orientate these? How do I want to put these in? We're just going to line them up, make it very geometric and patterned, layer them. And here's the cool thing. This is the best part about this. Look how see-through this is. Like, you can see the transparency through here, which is very, very cool. And I'm going to keep life really simple and just use a tape runner, because why not? So let's go with the bottom layer first. A little bit of adhesive on here and stick it down. Go with the ones that are on the bottom and stick it down. This one's underneath as well. And if it doesn't go back exactly the way I had it, I'm not worried. Kind of layer those, joins the 3 of those elements together. This one's down below. I don't like free-floating items. I like them kind of connected in some way. It's like that's gonna go right about, I'll have this come down. The nice thing I love about doing this kind of adhesive is you got a little bit of play and it hides. But if there's a little bit of texture, there's a tiny bit of texture in there, I like it because it's just more texture. I'm gonna tuck this one underneath. I'm gonna have it go right there. Really kind of go down the page. And then this one goes right in the middle. And you can still see all that beautiful writing. So it's not like you're completely covering up anything. You still can see through all of the elements. You can really see it through the two-sided matte film. And it is two-sided, so it doesn't matter which side you put the color on, it would work. I could even put color on both sides, but I knew I was gonna glue this down. This one's a little wonky to me. I wanna straighten this guy out. That's just a personal touch. And there it is. Just a fun little journal page. Look at all the fun elements. And this is only using one sheet of paper. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. And we just played with different surfaces, different mediums that would work on this dual surface matte film. And I love the transparency. I can't say how much I love all the fun transparency of that. And then just popping it in a journal page. How easy is that? Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to check out all the other amazing videos over on the Grafix YouTube channel. And I will see you everybody again later. Bye-bye.